Only slightly late. Only 4 minutes, that's like the least late I've ever been. It appears to be working. Hello everyone. We've not got to the face yet, but we will. Don't worry. So much spam in the chat. So yeah, I messed up slightly because I scheduled the live stream, which is a thing I'd never bothered before, and as it turns out, when you do that, it puts it on everyone's subscriber feed. So for the past 3 hours, everyone's had their subscriber feed with just my live stream sat there being not live and confusing everyone massively. But we're live now, so that's all fine. And it meant that everyone got plenty of warning. And I think this is the most viewers I've ever had, maybe, so that's scary. Haven't even got to the face bit yet. I've been live for 2 seconds. Everyone's here for the face. I'm trying to arrange my screens with various windows and such, because I've got to have the questions up and things. Lots of shouting. It's going too fast for me to read. Some people shouting for the face, some people shouting for Factorio. Let me just press some buttons. Alright, I tweaked some things there. People shouting in the chat and probably getting timed out. There's a lot of shouting going on. But yeah, the reason that I'm doing this is because I'm joining Roll For It, for those who haven't seen the announcement video. If you haven't seen Roll For It, you should go watch it. There's been a whole, 6-month Shadowrun series going on with that. You can go watch the videos on Enter Elysium's channel. But yes, I'm collaborating with Enter Elysium, Avak, Shenrir, and Splattercat Gaming for a role-playing live stream series in Dark Heresy, which is set in the Warhammer 40k universe. And we use Facecam for that. So my face is about to be revealed to the world. It will be revealed, well, it'll be revealed now because that's the thing I'm doing. Yeah, it was going to be revealed to the world then, so I thought I would have a proper dedicated face reveal thing now, so you can all see it now and not be distracted from the awesome Warhammer stuff that we'll be doing on the day. Went with a Rumba because he's not in it. He was in the original D&D one, but he's not been in it since. Everyone is shouting. I'm wondering what people think I look like. It's always a bit weird. Like, I never imagined faces on YouTubers, so it's always weird when I see them because it's not what I was expecting for some reason. And I bet that's the case for a lot of you guys. Everyone's like, stop, just do the reveal, damn it. Why are you doing this to me? I know, I gotta milk it. This is my one chance. I don't get to do this again. I'm gonna drive you all insane. Someone just said some numbers, I don't even know what that's for. Charge money? No. 50 million chins, that's not quite. Don't show your face, the magic will be lost. Well, I have to, because I will be from Wednesday onwards. If it wasn't for that, I would have waited till, I don't know, 50,000 or 100,000 subscribers were I ever to get that far. Oh, yeah, I'm just a hat, of course. It all makes sense now. Face cam in all my videos on my channel? Probably not. I might start using it now, because now I can. It's a possibility. Alright, I think we should probably get on with it. I will get ready to press the button. How many people are watching? I shouldn't look, because it'll scare me. That's a big number. That's a very large number. That's scary. A lot of people want to see what I look like. You're old, scary stalker people. I've got to set this up right. Alright, here we go. I don't know if this button will work. We shall see. In 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. It's not worked. It's actually not worked. What did I do? Why isn't it working? No. I tested this just before I started. Why isn't it? No, it's ruined. Oh no. This genuinely wasn't supposed to happen. I'm not doing a bit here. It is actually just not working. Hold on. I might. Let me try. I do. Let's see. This. Nope. How about go back to this screen and then back to this screen? There we go. Hello. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting, really. It's been my profile picture for years. Of course, like, I don't know why people wanted me to have a face cam thing, because this is what I actually have looked like all along. Alright, enough of that. Enough of the hat. I do have a bowler hat. But yes, my face is this. Hello, I'm Bentham. And this is my face. And I wait 20 seconds for everyone to react and have their ears argue with their eyes in their brain and confuse the crap out of them. There we go. Hello, everyone. Oh, that's a lot of chat. I can't read that. That's so much chat. Oh, is everyone saying I look 12? Oh, I'm not 12. A little bit older than that. I am quite young, though, yes. I think I am the youngest of all the people who have ever been in Roll for It or a Mass, I think. I think I am. Explosions. Everyone's imagining me older. It makes sense. I sound like I'm 40? Really? 40? I guess there might be someone 40 years old who sounds like this. If the glasses were round, are you saying I look like Harry Potter? Sort of, I do have black hair and stuff. Makes a bit of sense. No scar, though. Actually, I do have a tiny scar on my chin, but it's so tiny you can't see it. But yeah, part of the reason that I have a bowler hat in my profile picture is that I actually own a bowler hat, so it makes sense. It's like a crappy prop one, but it's still one. It works. I'm not. People are thinking I'm a lot younger than I am. You guys are all way off the mark. One guy has got it right. In fact, there are some people who are saying they've got it wrong when actually they haven't. You have the same headphones. They are fairly common headphones. These are Turtle Beach X12s, I believe. I've made them work. Apparently I look like Sir Metallodon. It's moving so fast I can barely read the chat. Yeah, I think it's a fairly generic face pattern. The whole black hair, glasses, slightly scrawny look. I am not 16. I'm an adult at least. A big guy with a big beard, lumberjack style. I am one of the few Rollfruit members who doesn't have a beard of any kind at all. Ever. I forget who has a beard at the moment. I don't know. I don't have a mustache. I can do this. Am I inside? No, I'm not inside a cupboard. These are cupboards behind me. Yes, I'm not in them. By the way, is this cupboard handle driving everyone insane yet? Now I pointed it out, it will be. It just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. It defies all logic. And it's not that like if you pan out, it starts to make sense. It's actually just really bad craftsmanship. They just can't design cupboards. The people who design these cupboards. And now you're all going mad. It's heresy, is what it is. I can try and sit in front of it. I can get like a piece of paper and just like hang it here so you don't know. But you do know now. It can never be unseen. Chat is now starting to calm down a bit. I can maybe start to actually answer questions. Very shiny wardrobe. Too shiny. It's reflecting everything. It's terrible. Is it dark heresy, though? Well, that's the question. Will I be hunted down by the Inquisition or not? I look like a Factorian, you guess. How strong are my glasses? Not very. My eyesight's not too terrible. I did have to pay attention to my appearance before starting this up. It's a little rubbish, a lot of extra work. Gotta look not terrible. What's the point of that? Have I seen the Lord Inquisitor prologue? I have, I think, if it's the one I'm thinking. If it's the one that Enter Elysium or possibly Roll for It linked, then I have seen that. I thought it looked very cool, but the Inquisitor character seemed very weird. He seemed like some random bloke from modern day who'd been catapulted into the 41st millennium and just found his niche as an Inquisitor. And he seems far too young to be an Inquisitor. Eh. I mean, it's nice that it's a thing anyway. Everyone thinks I have a beard. I can start to read names now. The chat is moving a little bit slower. Why, thank you, Quantum Sicarius. The movie focuses on his character development, so we'll see. Okay. At least I'm not bald. Yeah, that seems to be this sort of... Like, I've heard it before that there's this sort of unwritten rule that in order to do well on YouTube, you have to either be British or be bald. Luckily, I'm British, so I don't need to be bald. But if I was, then my power as a YouTuber would grow. That's why Total Biscuit is steadily gaining subscribers. It's a bit mean to him. He's a good guy. I'll not be. Let's not start drama. Not an egg is nice. I perhaps do need a bit of a haircut, maybe, I'm not sure. But at some point. Who is my favourite Doctor? That'd be David Tennant. That was when I watched Doctor Who the most. But it wasn't just because of him, it was because of everything in that series at the time. The fact that the companions actually had families, and the families did things, and were people. I miss those days. I miss Wilf. He was awesome. How is the weather? I don't know, it's dark. I can't see. It was fairly nice. Are you trying to work out where I am from that? That's the thing, if I'm asked about the weather often enough, then eventually you'll be able to work out where I am. I look so young. Have I tried doing another multiplayer Factorio game a la Amass? Well, there have been some discussions on Twitter about bringing it back, but at the moment things are moving slowly. We have not yet got a date that we're going to start recording, or any particular plan about what we're going to do. So maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, it depends. Unfortunately, I'm not that available in the coming weeks, so I don't know. We'll see. It's always a possibility, as it always has been. I'm in the UK, yes. In England. I look so young but sound so old. That's very weird. I didn't think I sounded that old. Alright, I'm going to... Where's it gone? I had the window open for the questions. Did I close it like a derp? Oh, here it is. Right, we can start looking at the questions that were asked on the announcement video. Let me press buttons. Here we are. My Twitter's going slightly crazy. By the way, I have a Twitter. It is Bentham Plays because Bentham was taken. There's discussion. So Rolfred's tweeted. I must read this. It might pertain to me. I think, or has it? Maybe Twitter's being weird. Here it is. Oh, apparently the behind-the-scenes planning PDFs are now up on the Roll for It Patreon. Where's this stuff from? Oh, this is all the stuff from Shadowrun. Interesting. I want to see that. Anyway, I got distracted for a moment. I need to catch up with what everyone's saying. Is YouTube your full-time job? Not yet. It might become that. It depends. We will see. At the moment, I still consider it a sort of half hobby, half part-time job thing. I sound like a man who has killed 2 bears with my voice. What does that mean? That does... What? What? I don't even know what... Like, how... I don't know where to start with that. Railworld episode with facecam would be hilarious because of the triple speed. Well, it depends. Would it be a facecam of when I was playing it, or would it be a facecam of when I was doing the commentary? Because that would be 2 completely different things. One, bored, sped up face. Well, not bored, but one, I wouldn't be making any faces because I'd just be playing. And then the other one, I'd just be concentrating on talking really fast. You say I am a procrastinator, what? As in a follower of Nerdcubed? If so, how? Because I haven't given that indication, even though it is true. Unless you mean an actual procrastinator. Am I feeling that tons of people are seeing my face for the first time? I feel like I'm taking it fairly well. Yep, there's a fly in here. People have already seen my face. Those who've subscribed to the Roll For It Patreon have access to the practice video that we've done for Dark Heresy, in which I was already using Facecam. So that's something you can go watch. So far, part 1 of the practice session is up. Part 2 will probably be up at some point. I imagine, like, by the end of tomorrow it should be. It would be weird if it wasn't, because we're about to do the actual first session. Oh, because I'm following NerdCubed on Twitter, I see. People are leaving. Well, they've seen my face now. I mean, that makes a bit of sense. More people are here for the face than the Q&A. I'm fine with that. This is still a huge number, relative to what I usually get on a stream. I mentioned NerdCube before on Factorio and Radina videos. Or Rodina. It's pronounced Rodina. I've been told that's what it is. Not Radina, it's Rodina, I think. That's my guess. Unfortunately, I've already recorded the 5th episode of that, so I will continue to answer it wrong, or name it wrong, until episode 6, where I'll start saying Rodina until that turns out to also be wrong. Alright, everyone wants to know how old I am, so I will tell you, I am 21 years old. So I'm not 5, and I'm not 40, I'm in the middle. And yeah, I think that makes me, like, I don't know the ages of everyone in Roll For It and Amass, but I think I'm younger than all of them. That would make sense. A couple of people got it right. I'm not a baby. Everyone thought I was 12 when I started it up. It's an improvement. Oh, and Jarillo is pronounced Yurillo. I see. Everything's named after Russian things in that game, which is confusing. Yeah, 21 isn't exactly the middle of 50 and 40, but you get the, no, 5 and 40, but you get the idea. Confusing messages being made. Well, yeah, in some cases you could be pretty sure of it, because, like, Arumba has kids. Or a kid, at least. I don't know how many. I know he is a parent. You're pretty sure I made a recording of my teenage son, and I'm now doing a voiceover. I did once have a plan for, a way I would do a face reveal, and what I would do is get just a terrible quality camera, or like a filter on this current already bad one, just to make it really bad and make it repeatedly cut out, and then in between it cutting out, I would have someone else jump in, put on the headset, and then try and, like, follow what I was saying with their mouth, and just do that, but with like 5 different people, none of whom was me, or maybe one of them was me, but you could never tell who. And just leave people guessing, like, okay, we've now narrowed it down to 5 faces. We've made progress. That was quite a fun intro. I like that I was able to do that. I just printed off the gear. And I already have a bowler hat, so that worked. But yeah, there's a lot of work required to make that face reveal thing work, and I didn't have time. Is anonymity a big deal for me? I wouldn't want people to know exactly who I am. But I'm okay with people knowing certain things about me. And I'm now okay with people seeing my face. The reason why it was sort of a case of, unless there's a good reason, I will keep my face hidden. And then Roll For It came along, and that is a good reason. Well, I could fix the lip syncing thing if I Well, to a certain extent, if I was like, oh, the connection's really bad and the audio and the video are out of sync, so you won't be able... And then I could talk, and then a few seconds later they could mouth it. Might work. Yes, I am Bentham. That is my name. That is all that you need to know. Where do I live and what is my credit card so you can send me pizza? You're gonna come to my house and fix the door handle. Is it out of sync? It might be by a little bit. Something I could maybe change. How tall am I? I don't know. I don't pay attention to those things. I am a normal height, I think. As far as I can tell. Which I guess is likely if I don't care about my height, because if I was tall, then I would be more interested in how tall I was. Why are you saying I'm 22? I'm 21. I said this earlier. It's not like it's my birthday today. Yeah, the cupboard doors are too reflective, and so you can see things reflected in them to a certain extent. I can clap for the synchronizing. How is that? I probably should have given you slightly more warning. You know my real name? I hope you're someone I know. I don't recognize the username. Am I going to start streaming a game? I may play Factorio. I did set up OBS so that I could do that and have a little face cam in the corner. Where is Stardew Valley? I, 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 I was supposed to carry on, and I didn't, and now I feel like it's been too long. And I've forgotten everything I was doing, and I was only like a dozen episodes in. I'm sorry. If multiplayer ever comes out, I could do a multiplayer series with somebody. The Long Dark. The Long Dark is one where I do feel like I can bring that back even though it's been gone for like 2 months. Or more. Might be more. But yeah, The Long Dark is a series that must finish. And so I will probably just bring it back for like at some point and just carry it on. Like I feel like there's gonna be like another 100 episodes though before I actually die in that. Just because I'm so scared of the wolves and things. Is it half a year? It might be half a year. I lose track of time. It doesn't feel like that long. Where is Factorio No Crafting Challenge? It finished. I finished the game. What? Why? Did you not notice? Yeah, that one ended. That was ages ago. That was a very long time ago. Can the Long Dark finish? Well, it'll finish with me dying, but will I die? Is the question. The war against biters will continue at some point. The reason I stopped that was because there was a problem with 0.13 of the biters suddenly became super aggressive and just started blowing everything up before the war. That may have been fixed now. I haven't actually checked. I haven't heard about it being fixed, but I will have to check that and make sure it's the case. I'm not 7 foot. Why are you spreading these lies? You're the one who said I was 22 earlier. I'm on to you. I'm never going to stop playing Factorio. It's not the plan. I mean, well, if we're talking like 10 years, then maybe I will have stopped. It depends. The way we play games may have changed completely by then. Well, yeah, the idea was to continue with living with biters in 0.12, but then I was I didn't get around to it, and then I started thinking maybe I should just try and wait till 0.13 happens. I'm going to try and improve the video production rate. I've been a little bit lazy recently, I must admit. I'm trying to improve it, but then suddenly all the role preparation distracted me. I've been poring over rulebooks and character sheets and things. Yeah, I'm from England. They changed the things. They are more aggressive now. As in the biters? Because, yeah, the biters are more aggressive now. Where has my where's my chalk wall gone? I'm not Steejo. I know I'm taking the position that he vacated. And indeed, on the practice video we did, the overlays weren't properly set up. So when we went into combat, it said Steejo at the bottom. And Caber as well. So it didn't have anyone's proper names or anything under them. On a scale of knot to squirrel, how easily distracted am I? I would say more towards the squirrel than the knot. That would be my guess. Is my nonchalant style something I practice or something that comes naturally? Seeing as I'm not quite sure what you mean, I would guess naturally. I don't know. I mean, I definitely didn't act like this in videos like 2 years ago, so I guess I have learned how to sort of act in the way that I do. You just sort of do. In peaceful mode I can lay mines without the biters attacking me. I think that might have been changed now, but also that's cheating. I won't do that in Living with Biters. I'm noticing a few different people in chat who know me, based on the things they are saying. Can I say, hello, I am Bentham, as I usually do to prove that I am me? Is that enough? Does that count? I mean, the fact that I'm streaming on my YouTube channel should give you that indication, and just the fact that I'm using my voice. We do not speak of those, the Natanoj. Those are ancient videos from the old times, when I was a fool and very young. I sound just like Bentham, of course, I'm an imposter. I'm a voice... What's the word? Voice double, that's it. Trying to read through all the chat. There's less chat, but the chat is now, like, everyone's saying full sentences instead of random words. Certain people in the chat who I guess I know are revealing things to a certain extent that I was not going to say. So you stop doing that, guys. Whoever you are. I don't know if I do know you or not. It might just be that you've stalked me and found out who I am, which is slightly scary. I didn't think that I had an older sounding voice. That's weird. Alright, I'm going to, I got distracted there. I was going to go look at the questions from the announcement video. I will go do that. Let's bring some of these up. I'll just sort of pick some nice ones. Any plans for a modded Factorio series, and what mods will you use? Nothing particularly in the pipeline at the moment, but that's just because I haven't got any new series in the pipeline at the moment because everything is still going as normal. As for mods, I don't know. I think it would be lots of little sort of quality of life things, just little things that add random bits, like resource spawner overhaul and maybe some rail-based stuff. And also, sorry, I went mute for a second. I don't know, I don't know how much you missed there. But as I was saying, and in a minute everyone's going to be saying that I'm muted. There it goes. Slight delay. As well as I was saying, I would probably do the mod, because as of 0.14, which just came out of the blue, there is now support for equipment slots in vehicles. You can now mod those in, and so people have made those mods. So you can actually have parachute equipment in vehicles, which is amazing, and I totally want to do that, and just put shields and everything, and guns and everything, and exoskeleton legs and everything, so everything is super shielded and super fast and can shoot. I should use exclusively trains to move in Factorio, no walking. That's awkward, though. That's a load of faff. I could try it. There is a mod that makes it so that you can play the game out of a train, and inside the train is a factory. Or, like, space to build a factory, so that's quite cool. I probably wouldn't do a Bob's Mod series myself. That's a lot of work. It's too much. There are too many things in Bob's Mods. I can't deal with it. Pity I never got to use Bob's Mod tanks. Were they not in it when we played, or did we just not actually use them? Yes, a train with exoskeletons. You can do that. Yeah, gems. I just faffed about with gems the whole time in a mess, because it was all I could comprehend. And I really wanted to make the sorting loop work. It was a good idea, but by the time it was ready to work, it had already, we already had bots, and so the loop was pointless. And I just faffed about with it. And basically just messed about and was completely useless. Except the one time when I showed everyone how to kill all the biters, that was fun. Do a linear Factorio again? I never did one in the first place, unless you're referring to the one episode that I recorded and never uploaded of me doing a Ribbon World. Yeah, I could do a Ribbon World. That's definitely on the cards for a new series were I to do one. Though I'm wondering if it would be a real-time or post-commentary. Because the real-time would be good for sort of going through my thought processes as I build in the confined space, but there would also be times when I'm just wandering from one end of the ribbon to the other, and that would be annoying, and in that case you would want post-commentary. So I'd have to pick. Why didn't I upload it? I didn't like how the episode went. I thought I did a terrible job of it, and decided to scrap it and try something else. Yeah, I had a look at the map in what was it? Was it the 2-year live stream? I think it was that. The 2-year celebration live stream. I just went running around the various different random maps that I'd never shown anyone before, including 2 different Ribbon World ones that people could see. And in that one, I explained the reason I didn't bother with it, probably. A no belts challenge. That's faff. The problem with some of these challenges is the just huge inconveniences. And like, as far as I'm willing to go in terms of inconveniences, the no crafting challenge, where I have to build everything in an assembler. But yeah, that was a long time ago, that series. Like, probably 2 years at this point. Crazy. Repair the wardrobe behind me. I can't. I can't do it. I can't change it. It's like that forever. What happened to Slotorio? Why, it's still going, of course. Yearly episodes. The next one will arrive on time, probably. I must admit, though, some of the people in this chat are reminding me that I really should get some mods. People are saying things that they shouldn't be saying, and would only say if they knew there were no mods around. Off-World Trading Company, that was a while ago. I should play that again. I just sort of forgot about it, but it was quite a cool game, and I even was getting good at it towards the end. I even won like 2 games. Which was cool. Admittedly, I think in one of them, I had like everything in my favor. In the other one, I think it was actually balanced, and I was just really lucky. Have you ever thought about playing Space Engineers? I have, and I probably will at some point. I'm thinking it will be something I will live stream at some point soon, though I haven't done any live streams in a while. This is my first in a long time. But yeah, that'll probably be the next non-Factorio game that I play on stream. Space Engineers. There's one I played a load of in the past, but I've never actually made any videos on it. I should play some Minecraft. It was funny, actually. The other day I was thinking, you know, it's about time that Minecraft came back around again, I feel like. I feel like that is something I could now approach with a fresh mind. That's not the word. That I could start playing again. I could start over and not feel like I've already done everything. Because towards the end, like, one of the reasons I stopped playing that was because I would just keep starting a new save and be like, I've done all this before. I've played the whole game through multiple times. And even though it's an infinite sandbox where you can do anything, there's still a limit. And I got bored. But I could definitely go back to that. Maybe not make videos, because there's sort of a taboo at this point with Minecraft videos. You either are a Minecraft YouTuber or you never play it on YouTube. No, this reminds me, actually, there was a cool thing a couple of months ago. There was a NerdCube live stream where they were in Minecraft and they had Tekkit installed, and they explained Tekkit as being like Factorio in Minecraft. And I'm like, that's it. We made it. Factorio has got there. It can now be, like, there are now people who know about that and not, like, Tekkit. It's an important milestone. What is my favourite book? Oh, that's a hard one. I've read many books, and I lose track of what books I've read. And I'll think of another cool one. I'll talk about one for ages, and I'll be like, oh, but wait, there's this one too. So what I'll do is I'll just grab the book I'm reading right now, which is quite relevant. It is Eisenhorn by Dan Abnett. It is basically the Inquisitor Bible for the Warhammer 40k universe. It is what you read if you want to know what the Dark Heresy universe is like. And I've read it before, but it was like 5 years ago, and the Ravener trilogy as well. But yeah, it's pretty thick. It's because it is 3 books. The Eisenhorn trilogy and the Ravener trilogy. I've read them both, but a very long time ago, so I'm going to read through them again, refresh my memory so I know what I'm doing in Roll for It. Speaking of which, let's tell you a bit more about that. I don't what people like about reading. You don't know what people like about reading? Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, Roll for It. I imagine most of the people present are aware of it. But basically the reason that I'm doing this whole facecam thing is because I am joining the Roll for It team, which features Enter Elysium as the GM, and also Avak, Shenrir, and Splattercat Gaming as players. So it's the 5 of us, and we're playing through Dark Heresy on the Roll for It, Twitch channel. We also have a Patreon that you can go to if you want, and that has some cool behind the scenes stuff, such as the practice session that we did actually last Wednesday. Now, it was a while ago, but yeah, it will begin this Wednesday, basically 48 hours from when this live stream started. And the character that I'm playing, I'll not reveal too much, but what has already been revealed is that my character's name is Brander Thrail, and he is a former member of the Imperial Navy, and in his time in the Navy, he was a pilot. And I realized that when I looked through my old Warhammer collection, that I have a single Imperial Guard squad, and it just so happens to contain a model which pretty much looks like 90% like what my character does. It's not painted though, but here it is. This is my guy. Just like the Imperial Guard Sergeant. I've got like guard armor on, I think. I've got like flak armor. And I also have a chainsword, and basically the entire reason that I picked my character was because one of the options for his weapon was a chainsword, and how can you not take a chainsword? He also has a pistol, but this is the wrong pistol. This guy's holding a las pistol. Mine is like a stub revolver or something. I don't know. Some sort of like generic pistol-y thing. He also has a shotgun, but I don't have that. I do have a spare shotgun from like a Space Marine Scout squad that I could stick on him though to make him a little bit more accurate. Read out my name for the fans, says a guy called Trains. Well, there you go. For someone who's never seen or heard of Roll For It, how would you suggest you get into it? I guess just go watch it. Like, if you're familiar with like roleplay games and like pen and paper stuff, then you'll know sort of where it's going. If you want, you can go back and watch the Shadowrun series that they did. That's been going like 6 months. It's just finished, which is why we're now moving on to Dark Heresy. That one featured all the same people, but instead of me, it was Stejo. He left at the end of this last one, and I took his place. But yeah, I like watched the whole of that, and it was awesome. And it's all on Enter Elysium's channel, so you can go find it there. It's in a playlist that you can watch through. And there's like, I think they said 90 hours of footage, though that might be including the D&D campaign that they did before Shadowrun. But yeah, so it will be starting at 9 PM British Standard Time on the Roll For It Twitch channel. I have that linked, I believe, in the description of this video. Yeah, that's down there. So you can go to that, subscribe to that, and then you will be kept up to date on all the goings on. And I'll be announcing on Twitter, and I might also make an announcement video shortly before it goes live, just to remind people. But yeah, it should hopefully be quite cool to watch. We shall see. You're right, I need a moderator. Bye, Sam Ramdebest. Right, by the time I next stream, I think I will have appointed some moderators. Because previously it's not been required, but we've now reached a point where it is, unfortunately. How many cats can I fit in your car? Well, you would know that better than I can. You know how big your car is, and you have it available to see how many cats you can fit in it. Just mod everyone. Oh, I'm sure that'll go well. Alright, I'm going to go to the questions on the announcement video. I sort of got distracted from them again. Let me see, what do we have? How long do you think it will be before Splattercat Psyker, either on purpose or an accident, opens a hole into the warp and kills the whole party? It's going to take like 5 minutes. Psykers in the 40k universe are insanely dangerous, and basically the moment they try to do any sort of psychic thing, they will accidentally tear the fabric of reality and cause us all to be killed by giant death demons. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to happen as well. Like, there will inevitably be a bad roll, and in the middle of us investigating, like, some cult, we'll be doing really well, we'll be keeping really low profile, it'll be great, and then just suddenly we'll be, like, creeping around, like, trying to listen to some, like, cult meeting going on, and then suddenly he will, like, having tried to cast, like, amplify their voice or something to hear them a bit better, they will accidentally summon a demon, and it will kill us all, and they will all see it, and yeah, it won't go well. Yeah, so psychers are dangerous, and it is. I'm going to be very wary around him, especially when he does any sort of psychic stuff. Let's see. What is my least favorite part of making YouTube videos? I've had some time to think about this, and I've determined that it is most definitely when footage gets annihilated, because that happens sometimes, and it is massively infuriating. When you, like, it's always when you feel like the video's going really well. You know, everything will just suddenly shut down, and there won't be a backup save of the footage, and it will all just be gone. And you've got to just start again, and it's so annoying, and I hate it. And it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's terrible. So yeah, that's my least favourite part, when it all goes wrong and all your work was for nothing. What is Dark Heresy? I've sort of already explained that. I think it comes down to the watching the live streams when they start and seeing what you think of them. What game do you most want to play which you have yet not? Well, there is a game that I would really like to play and probably will play quite soon, if it will work. I'm not sure if it will work, but my hope is that it will, and that is Black and White, the God game by Lionhead Studios, which is only available on disc. It's never been released on Steam or anything like that. You cannot currently buy it. Some companies just holding on to the IP and not letting it go. And yeah, but I have it on disc, so I can do a series on that, and I think I will, because that is one of my favorite games from my childhood. Just endless hours of fun throwing rocks at villages and casting nuclear explosions on enemy gods. And just generally faffing about with a civilization. Yes, back when Molyneux made half-decent stuff. He promised the world and still gave a continent. Is it EA? That makes sense. This stream is in your recommended? I don't know why. Hello. I am confused. I'm as confused as you. I didn't know that live streams could end up in someone's suggested box. And now, I guess there must just be a bunch of random people turning up, being like, "Who is this guy? Where am I? What's going on?" Right, what else do we have? Do I have any hobbies besides gaming? I do have one, and I didn't really prepare this properly, but I play X-Wing, which is basically what you do when you realize how terribly expensive Warhammer is. You move on to the significantly cheaper, but not that cheap hobby of X-Wing. I will... Do I still have... Where are they? They're down here somewhere. Where did I put that box? I had a box. Here it is. I used these in the practice live stream that we did. But for those who don't know what you get in X-Wing, lots of noises. Here you go, this is pretty cool. You get very nice, fully assembled and pre-painted models. And they are quite good because I could never be bothered painting my Warhammer models, and so this suits me just fine. And I have many of these, and it is a really awesome game. And fun fact as well, it actually sells more now than Warhammer does, which shows just how far Games Workshop has fallen. I've also got this thing. Emperor Shuttle. It's confusing because it's not a mirror. So I'm like, I need to go this way. No, I need to go... What the... Yeah, here it is. Very cool. Wings move and everything. Yes, I would say if you ever plan on picking up any sort of tabletop game, X-Wing is the one to go for. And let's catch up on the chat. What of it is good? I think the chat is actually devolving. It's getting worse. I didn't think it would be this bad. Why are you also mean? I mean, I'm only making it worse by referencing it. People are like, oh, I'm getting attention. More of the trolling. So much chat to get through. When I play Project High Rise? Maybe. I feel like I missed the boat on that one. I never got around to actually trying it. Can't keep up with the chat. Too much being said. Okay, I've determined that there is basically no interesting content in the chat, so I will go back to the questions from the video. What quality of life improvement in Factorio 0.13 is your favourite? I would say all the train stuff, because that is awesome. Like having a menu where you can see all of your trains and access them and set up their schedules and stuff. It's just amazing. And I didn't even realize how convenient it could be made until they made it that convenient. What quality of life improvement would I like to see them add? I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. How shall I get back to you? Some of these questions I might just answer in the video comments. When I've had more time to think about them. But it looks like we are an hour in. So I'm thinking that we will go to a break. When we come back, I think I will start playing a bit of Factorio. And I'll stick my face up in that corner there. One more question. Which 40k armies do I have? Mainly I have Space Marines, because I'm boring. And just went for the one that everyone has. And I have too many of them. And they're all sort of packed away, unfortunately, so I can't really show them all off. And then I have a single squad of Imperial Guardsmen, which is where this guy comes from. And then also a couple of random orcs that I do actually have out. But these are just the boring ones from the Assault on Black Reach set that are just crap. They're two pieces, an arm, and the rest of it. And I just got that because I wanted a starter set and it had a rulebook in it. Alright, so yes, let us go to a break. I will be back in 5 minutes. There we are. We are back. Hello. Right, so I've loaded us into a Factorio save. This is the Railworld save with a bit of a difference. I've installed a mod which gives it equipment slots. So if we go to this train here and we go to fuel, you can see here's the equipment grid, and I've filled it with a bunch of cool stuff. So we have some power generation and some shielding, and we also have some exoskeleton legs, which means that this train accelerates ridiculously quickly. So that's pretty cool. Already at top speed. I've discovered using this that the upper limit of speed for any vehicle is 259.2. kilometers an hour, as it says down there. So unfortunately, we can't make anything go quicker than that, no matter how much we try. But we can use this to make everything accelerate up to that speed in a very short order. So that's pretty cool. We'll bring this to a halt. And I also have some stuff in the other cargo wagons, because all the cargo wagons have equipment slots as well. So we have personal laser defense and energy shields. So this thing can actually fend for itself, though unfortunately the lasers are pretty useless, really. If you actually send it at an enemy base, they'll probably just blow it up, even with the shields in place. But there's definitely some possibilities with this. If you have a really long train with like 20 wagons and they all have those, then you can start to actually be useful against the biters. And then if we go over to this one, this is a logistics wagon. So I've got like 15 personal roboports in here, which give it a range of sort of more than 50 meters around it. So it's pretty good. I don't think we can show it, unfortunately. Or maybe actually, if we use the... Yeah, it does actually show the range. I don't think that combines it with our suit or anything. I think that is just the range that the wagon has, so that's pretty good. And then I've just loaded it up with various equipment, some construction bots, repair packs, and concrete. Just for demonstration purposes, so I can just grab a template and start plonking that around. So yeah, this has some really useful applications for base building and stuff. Though the charging does take a little bit of time. It runs out of battery really quickly. Because the thing is, these batteries now have insane amounts of capacity, so they'll last for ages, but it also takes ages for them to recharge. And I also put some stuff in these tanks as well. The tank and the 2 cars. So we've got some... power generation in here. The idea behind this one was I was charging up these batteries because the batteries have so much capacity that you can just use them for ages before they run out. So what I can then do is fill it entirely with the exoskeleton legs, and this basically makes it as fast as it can possibly be, though it is a temporary thing. And the noise goes quite weird, really. But yeah, the top speed is something above 80 kilometers. Which is pretty convenient. It's always annoying how slow this thing is. Oh, it is impossible to stop because the exoskeleton legs don't help with that. They only boost the acceleration rate. And yes, it is a tank on legs, I guess. It's a little bit weird. It also affects reversing as well. Oh, that's something I forgot to show, actually. If I go back to this train, if I reverse, I can accelerate almost as fast as I can going forward, which is weird. It seems to be something about the way it works. It just like adds on the extra speed rather than like multiplying or anything. So rather than like reversing 50% quicker, you actually just like reverse like 3 times as fast, which is cool. Alright, again, it takes a long time to slow down. There we go. I think that got up to top speed, though I didn't pay much attention to it. And then we've got this car here. I've filled it with roboports, and this basically will work the same as the train, so you can now just drive around and build stuff wherever. And you don't have to have a proper power suit set up for it. And you can set it as well so that it only activates when the car stops, though apparently... Oh, was this in range of... Oh, this is in range of the train, so the train's doing it, I see. Let's drive a little bit further away then. I think everything has crazy ranges now. Do I not have any... Oh, there's no... Oh, this one's full of transport belts. I just plonk those down. I've been thinking I should probably try and make some sort of race course using the belts, seeing as you do actually travel faster when you drive on them. Is this a recent save? Yes, this is Rail World as it was when we finished the last episode. So we do have that broken train. I spotted it just after I did the commentary, so I couldn't mention it at the time, but let's stop here actually. We'll go get the quicker car. Yeah, this one needs these taking out and these putting in. Ah, missed. There we go. And we can go rocketing off at a very dangerous speed. Ouch. And there goes most of the car's health. There we go. I should go actually, well, if you, I think you can't reach top speed like this normally, but I think if you go on concrete you can. So if we go over here and just spin around on this bit, we can eventually reach the vehicle speed limit. Takes a while. Yeah, I'll not bother waiting the whole time. Steady. Steady. It's very hard to not hit things here. Oh. Ah, too many trees. Slightly stuck. And I've left a repair bot behind. I'll let him catch up. Right, I think, where is it? I've forgotten where the train is now that's broken. Oh, I know where it is. It's the main base one. Steady. Over here? Oh, this is working at the moment. I thought it was this that was broken. Or maybe it's about to break. No, that can't be right. Oh, that's right, I fixed it. In this particular save file, I fixed it because I needed the train system to be operating right. Yeah, I had these backwards, and I'd also got rid of this thing, but as it turns out, it was actually required. But yeah, I like how much this has been cleaned up now, instead of the horrible mess of before. Over here, it's still stupid. Very archaic design. I could fix some of this though, because part of the reason it's like this is because of all this water here. I can now fill this in and get these to line up properly, so that'd be nice. Just make sure not to get hit by any trains as we leave. Can you download the Factorio map? I've given people the map exchange string, the seed for generating this map. But it's quite awkward to do it because you have to do it in a 0.11 save and then bring that up to, or maybe it's not 0.12, and then bring it up to the most recent update. 0.14 now, which just came out of the blue. No one was really expecting it. It had been announced that it would be coming soon. But by soon I was imagining in like a month, and then it came out like less than a week later. So I haven't even made a video on it. I mean, there's not that much reason to, because nothing happened. It was just it was just the multiplayer being improved, which I don't really demonstrate the multiplayer in my videos anyway. Yeah, the only two major things really were that the multiplayer got set up, well, properly. It got properly switched over to server-based, and then the other thing was that it now has support for the equipment slots, like I showed you. Apart from that, that's it. Put chat on the Factorio screen. Maybe not this time. But yeah, apparently the multiplayer is super stable now. It's awesome. And you can now have like, it was something like 67 players in a single game. Or something crazy. And it was functioning as a game. Where previously, like, we couldn't manage 4 without it crashing. Well, you ever play Bob's Mods? Well, I did with the Amass guys, though I didn't really do it properly. I faffed about for most of that series. Filling in water is cheating. Well, I get where you're coming from. And the water is good at sort of, like, forcing you to do something different each time, because otherwise you could just build the same factory every single time. So it does force you to be different, but at the same time, sometimes the water just gets in the way too much, and there's a system that has to be stupid because there's no other way of doing it. And in those cases, I feel like it's fair to use the landfill to clean things up a bit. So, like, this loop was just a mess and looked stupid, and there wasn't really that much I could do about it without huge changes and just massively inconveniencing everything. So I just filled in a couple of squares so I could make it look nice. And I think that's alright. And I think that's the same here, because, like, there's nothing being gained from having this go like this. Like, all the weird, like, what is it, swan necking or whatever you call it with the tracks. So I feel like in this case it's fair to landfill it and just run it straight through, because it doesn't make any difference apart from making things look nicer. Filling inland should be expensive. Well, it is fairly, I think. I forget what the recipe is. 20 stone? 20 stone's fairly expensive. I mean, they could have done like 100 and then it really would have been like something you didn't do much. But I feel like they've been well, I do have like 500 of the things. I could just fill in any one of these lakes with how much I have, so maybe it should be more difficult to make. Is there any reason for the massive number of side loading in Railworld and towns? What, you mean loading onto the side of underground belts or something? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure. Fill in the lake. Now that's something that I couldn't do with with the stone I have. That would take far too much. That would be insane. It would be a hell of a challenge, but I think it would get very dull very quickly. Maybe I'd get like this far out and be like, I give up. I'm stopping. Oh jeez. The biters are really moving in here. They're getting quite close. That's sort of like gonna get attacked in the next 5 minutes territory there. I'm glad this isn't like the actual main Railworld save. This is an offshoot to mess about with the equipment slots. What happened to this radar? Did I break it? I must have broken it. Let's go back and fix that. .14 is not out officially. Well, it depends what you consider that to be. 0.14 is in the experimental phase, which means that people aren't automatically signed up to it. And it's not considered stable. But you can play it. There's no, like, as long as you're aware that there can be bugs, then it's fine. It's just a sort of disclaimer sort of thing of like, we can't guarantee that this won't break your saves, so play at your own risk, but it should be fine. And that's usually what it's like in the experimental version. So I always download them as soon as they come out, because there's really, it's fine. There's very rare that that you'd have it break on you for whatever reason. It does sometimes happen. There was one like episode where halfway through recording it, Factorio crashed because a new update had come out that had broken something, but then like 5 minutes later a hotfix came out that fixed it again. So yeah, 0.13 is the stable one, 0.14 is the experimental one, but just play the new one, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't make much difference because there aren't any main new features. It's all sort of multiplayer stuff and mod support. Which mod adds equipment slots? I forget what it's called. If you search grid in the mods like menu, then it should come up and it's called like equipment slots in vehicles or something. I think there's 2 of them. I just picked the one that had the more downloads because it seemed like the best idea. Solo bombs mods. I will probably never do a bombs mod series myself because I just find it too complicated. There's just too many bits and bobs to deal with. And I would prefer to just have a game where everything was on a bigger scale rather than being more complicated. I would just like... I would prefer something like, I forget exactly what Marathon mod does. Is that one? I guess that makes the game longer and means that you do larger scale factories. But basically I want a reason to have everything twice as big. Like to have twice as much circuit production and needing to have like more belts running along the main line. I just have everything on a larger scale rather than having like more stuff. When will Factorio go out of alpha? I have no idea. The developers have this sort of weird system of like, the way they do the updates, they imagine that each individual update goes through an alpha stage. Because it's sort of like the update comes out in an unfinished buggy state, and then they bug fix it constantly until it is completely stable. And then they're like, okay, that update is fully released, and then the new update will come out in alpha. So it's a bit strange. And the game is considered in alpha, but it's... I guess it is, and I guess at some point there will be a 1.0. But like in terms of like stability and bugs and stuff like that, and features, I think it's fair to say that you can treat each like full version as a full release to a certain extent. Yeah, it's not your usual early access mess. That is a good way to encapsulate it. Build a train and fill a cargo wagon of the train completely with every item in the game. Well, Steejo already did that. He did his Megatrain thing. By the way, he totally stole that Megatrain name from me. But his is more of a Megatrain than mine, because it's got like 10 times, well, like 100 times the wagons. But yeah, he's already done that, so, eh. It's something I've considered. Maybe at some point I'll try it. It's not like he, like... I don't know. I might do, well... I think my next thing will probably be a Ribbon World for my next sort of weird game. In the sort of style that, like... I feel like I always have like the one weird slot in my Factorio series. It like first it was no crafting challenge, now it's living with biters, and next it will be the Ribbon World. You can sort of consider the Town series as being a bit of that as well, but I think that's more sort of normal. Factorissimo. I've heard that gets boring after a while. That's the one where you can build factories within factories, right? Apparently it sort of gets annoying later on. That's what I've heard, I think, from Steejo and Arumba briefly. 0.16 is to be the final release? You sure? I guess that's possible. I feel like they did say something like that, thinking about it. Overall, our plan is to have yeah, they did say that. The Factorio Friday Facts 151, they said that the overall plan is to have Factorio 1.0 finished next summer. Probably meaning that 0.15 would be 1.0, but that has now changed to 1.16 because 1.14 was a sort of mini update. What is a Ribbon World? A Ribbon World is where when you set up the map settings, you set the vertical or horizontal dimensions of the map to a very limited number, such as like 16 squares. And so you then have, I guess I can go up here and show you, your world is basically shaped like this. And it's just void above and below and goes off infinitely in either direction. And you have to build your factory within these confines. So it's quite interesting. I wouldn't do it like a super like people have done like ones where it's 8 squares long. I would probably do like 32 squares or something, because I want to fit a railway in there. And so yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, you can only travel east and west, north and south are blocked off. Sometimes it's called a linear Factorio, because everything's in a line. Play The Sims 4. Why? Where did that come from? What's that got to do with anything? You want to know if I have a dog? I don't have a dog. I had dogs a long time ago. But that was like 10 years ago now. And 0.15 is more circuit network stuff. And also maybe the end game. I'm hoping they finally put the end game in. It's gotta happen at some point. They keep putting it off, one update at a time. But eventually we're actually going to get something after launching the rockets. More Rodden videos. Yes, there will be. There's one already recorded. It will come out in the next couple of days. I intend to carry on with that as normal. Spidertron could be implemented in 0.15. That'll be fun. That horrifying monstrosity. Alright, I've basically shown off all the equipment slot stuff. There's not that much, like, to it really, but there is it has big implications. You can have a lot of fun with this. Like, we can go crazy with this train here. I can just start putting in extra cargo wagons. Let's go down and grab some more from here. I've upgraded the production rate here because I've already done this once. Just adding like 50 wagons to it and seeing how quick it can be. Whoops. Let's get one more. What's he waiting for? There we go. Back up here. Oop, like so. Can I just... No, I was hoping I could just run along and do it, but that didn't quite work. Wait, what? We can actually do that? That works? Fair enough. Can I now? Oh, it hits itself as it drives around. Slightly problematic. Let's not do that. And off we go. And usually a train like this would not be able to go that quickly, but now that we have the exoskeleton legs, this thing can get up to speed. It still takes a while. But if it wasn't for the legs, this would just not be able to move at all. Beware another Giga Train. We'll not go that far again. I'm just messing about on this little loop here. Make no crafting challenge and Factorio Series 1 come back. Well, they're sort of done. Admittedly, though, in both of them I haven't actually done the new ending. In both of those I built the rocket defense, so now that you actually have the ability to launch rockets, I could go back and do those, but I don't know if there'd be much reason to. Also, the game has changed so much since the original Factorio series I did that it would just not be functional anymore. The factory just wouldn't work. I went and did a tour of it in the 2-year anniversary video, and that was... I don't think it worked. I think it all just shut down. It's crazy. You forgot I had a face. Yes, it's still here in the corner. I'm practically forgetting I have a face. I'm just playing Factorio as normal. I'm not even looking at the camera. Hello. I'm just like watching the game and the chat. And this point is just because people came here for my face and they would be angry if they didn't see my face. But you'll be seeing plenty more of it in the coming Roll For It streams. The first one will take place in just over 46 hours time. So stick that in your clocks. A no cracking oil challenge. Oh, that makes sense actually, but it would just come down to doing everything the same except having stupid amounts of oil storage and just blowing up the tanks all the time. Or just making solid fuel out of them. Alright, let's stop this now. And the funny thing is, this thing can actually reverse pretty much as fast as well. Same as before. Still takes a while to get up to speed, of course. But it is quite useful, actually. For like double-headed trains, you can now make it so that they actually go quite quickly. Because the rear-facing cargo wagons will actually still be able to work. You always thought that Bentham was actually just Factorio with sentience. Well, yes, I am just a gear wearing a hat. Alright, let's stop messing about with this. Unfortunately, it takes forever to slow down. Come on. It just... There we go. Alright, let's... I don't know what to do now. We've sort of done everything. We've put the various different kinds of kit in all the different vehicles and such. Trying to catch up with the chat. A lot going on. Yeah, the train with exosuit legs is a little bit weird. The fact that it, the legs make it go faster. Best not to think about it too much. I guess you could imagine that the legs are on the side, boosting it along or something. That's quite the hilarious image. It'd be good if they could actually put that into the game. Someone should make that mod. where the vehicles actually get legs. They just go at crazy speeds as the vehicles go along. I mean, I think I pretty much showed off everything there is to show off here, including my face, and so I think it is probably time to finish up for today. So yeah, there's links and well, there's a couple of links in the description to the Roll For It stuff that I will be doing soon. If you go to the announcement video that I made, then there's like 50 links to everything. So that's the place to go to connect to all the people doing the Roll For It stuff, and just be aware of all the details and stuff. And I will inform people via Twitter and probably also YouTube about when the streams are actually starting. But yes, as of Wednesday, I will be doing some weekly Dark Heresy role-playing streams, and it's going to be quite fun. I was saying don't go. I must at some point. Yeah, that is enough for today. I hope you've all enjoyed. And let's go back to this. Here we are. Get rid of that bit. That is no longer true. And I guess it makes more sense to finish on this. So yes, I shall say goodbye, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.